Let's go.
Hi, everyone. I'm pleased. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
It's a really good series.
Turns out that a book is more durable than stone. It's more durable than a castle. It's more durable than an empire. You don't get away with anything. And so you might think you can bend the fabric of reality and that you can treat people instrumentally and that you can bow to the tyrant and violate your conscience without cost. You will pay the piper. It's going to call you out of that slavery into freedom, even if that pulls you into the desert.
And God is ethic-centered, not ethnic-centered.
Well, do you want the Pharaoh on your side or do you want God on your side? That's kind of the question.
There's a profound sense here that what is going on with the Israelites is the contrast to Pharaoh, right? Like under no terms will you go, and the Israelites have to say, we will go under any terms.
And we're going to see that there's something else going on here that is far more cosmic and deeper than what you can imagine.
The highest ethical spirit to which we're beholden is presented precisely as that spirit that allies itself with the cause of freedom against tyranny. And
yes, exactly. I want villains to get punished.
But do you want the villains to learn before they have to pay the ultimate price?
That's such a Christian question.
Pleased today to have with me Mr. Robert Greene. Mr. Greene is the #1 New York Times best-selling author of number of books: The 48 Laws of Power, 1998, The Art of Seduction, 2001, The 33 Strategies of War, 2007, The 50th Law, which he wrote.
I think I need zinc. I think that's what it is. I think this is a need for zinc. See, you guys get to see me using my own frameworks to solve my brain. I take some choline too, because choline is very helpful.
With 50 Cent, the rapper, 2008, Mastery, 2012, The Law.
I actually have Mastery right here. I'll break that book down later. Great book. I've used that to plan my career.
Laws of Human Nature, 2018, and The Daily Laws, this book right here. So he's an internationally renowned expert on power strategies, living in Los Angeles. Mr. Greene worked at an estimated 80 jobs, including magazine editor, construction worker, Hollywood movie writer, before becoming an author. The Sunday Times referred to his first book, The 48 Laws of Power, as the Hollywood backstabber's Bible, and it can be difficult to find people who acknowledge its influence because of its controversial nature. I was reading
amazing book. I read that book when I was 14, and I used that book to create multiple new classes at my high school, just simply because I understood how power worked, and I put them to good use. Amazing book. Gonna keep rereading it for my whole life. Absolutely wonderful.
Daily Laws before setting up this interview, and I'm going to read one. It's a set of meditations, 366 meditations on power, seduction, mastery, strategy, and human nature. And so here's the one for June 7th, and I think it's relatively representative of the book. June 7th, never impugn people's intelligence. Then there's a subtitle or an introductory idea. The best way to be well received by all is to clothe yourself in the skin of the dumbest of brutes, Baltasar Gracian.
That's an amazing book. It's a pocket mirror for heroes.
The feeling that someone else is more intelligent than we are is almost always intolerable. We usually try to justify it in different ways. Quote, he only has book knowledge, whereas I have real knowledge. Quote, her parents paid for...
Satisfy yourself with my intelligence by telling yourself that the only thing I know how to do is how to fix sleep problems and health, fitness, and high performance. Everything else, I have no idea. I am this monolith of information on this one topic, and about everything else I have no idea. Like cars, I gotta teach myself about cars. I feel like a fucking idiot whenever like anything's wrong with my car, which there always is because I know nothing about cars. Fun.
For her to get a good education. If my parents had had as much money, if I had been as privileged, he's not as smart as he thinks. Last but not least, quote,
that's definitely true.
She may know her narrow little field better than I do, but beyond that, she's really not smart at all. Even
Facts.
Einstein was a boob outside physics. Given how important the idea of intelligence is to most people's vanity, it is critical never inadvertently to insult or impugn a person's brain power. This is an unforgivable sin. But if you can make this iron rule work for you, it opens up all sorts of avenues of deception. The feeling of intellectual superiority you give them will disarm their suspicion muscles.
The closer you get to me, the smarter you'll realize I am. That's how I've designed the entire funnel that is Weak to Warrior. Got some plans for the future, y'all. I hint at them. I hint about this stuff just to like allow the intelligent among you to tune in, and always later in my videos, always in the long videos that only the disciplined will watch, I reveal my real plans because it's fun. Makes it fun for me. So the more you find out, the more you look, the more you find out. But also, though, I do want to educate people. Part of my plan is educating people on how power works to make the world more interesting, simply because if stuff like below-vid 18 can happen, then probably living in a very low level of functioning. Most people are at a very low level of functioning. So we need to get people's understanding of the chessboard higher before it even makes sense to try to dominate the chessboard, because the chessboard is going to turn into a dog patch if we don't educate.
And then daily law. Subliminally reassure people that they are more intelligent than you are, or even that you are a bit of a moron. And you can run
Robert Greene does this very well.
Rings around them. And this is the 48 Laws of Power, from the 48 Laws of Power, Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. So when I was preparing for this, I was reading these daily meditations, and I was actually shocked. I was really quite shocked by them. I was shocked by that one. And I was very unclear as a consequence as to your motivations. And so I was thinking, I don't get this. I don't understand this exactly. It's like, This is very deceptive. And then I talked to my team who liked your books a lot, and my daughter who really liked interviewing you. And I thought, well, there's something going on here that I don't quite understand, which is certainly possible. And then I thought,
Robert Greene's of the same mind, which is why he wrote the book. Because if you listen to his life story, like, he got the short end of the power stick a lot until he eventually realized what was going on. Also, read Winning Through Intimidation if you're interested in power games. Like, oh my God, read that book, Winning Through Intimidation. Absolutely crucial.
Thought, well, this is maybe a shadow exploration, something like that.
Yes.
And then I thought, like, I was kind of a dimwit for not catching that earlier. But you know, it is shocking. These are very manipulative laws, let's say. And so can you guide me through the rationale for producing material like that? What are you trying to do with your books? And they've obviously been misunderstood. It says in Wikipedia, Greene's books are sometimes described as manipulative and amoral. And so clear this up for me.
Well, you know, that it's a bit manipulative when people write that, because a great deal of the 48 Laws of Power, I'd say, you know, maybe 2/3 of them are not manipulative, have nothing to do with deception. They have things to do with kind of common sense ideas about power, such as being generous with people, such as creating compelling spectacles.
This is something that's talked about Winning Through Intimidation, that the most manipulative people do not like it when manipulation tactics are discussed because they don't want people to notice what they're doing.
Such as entering action with boldness and kind of how you present yourself, sort of things about your image and your appearance. But there are definitely some laws that are quite manipulative. And then my other books don't really go into things like that. So it is a bit of a distortion to write that. But where this comes from is basically, I have a particular idea of power. So maybe I should explain that a little bit. My idea of power, it's not about this kind of grand thing of political or war or something. It's on a very individual level. And the idea for me comes from Nietzsche and his idea of the will to power, which he explains as every organism has a desire to expand itself, has a desire for expansion. And so I think that for human beings, the desire that we have this innate.
Beautiful. Tune in tomorrow for us to continue this idea.